Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As I was about to title today's video, here to rank all the playmaking badges in NBA 2K23 for Season 5. So, I hope y'all enjoy. If you do, for to drop a like, sub new, turn on noties, all that good stuff, and like always, try to 2,000 likes. Alright, without further ado, we're going to get straight into the video. In case you're new to the series, the text color, as you can see in the bottom left corner here, is going to indicate the Season 4 ranking. So, for instance, we had Mismatch Expert in the F tier for Season 4, Ankle Breaker in Special Delivery, and Post Playmaking in the D tier. And then we had Vice Grip in the C, so on and so forth for any color corresponding with the tier. That's what the Season 4 ranking was. Now, in today's video, I was doing the Season 5 rankings. Getting into our badges, we have Mismatch Expert staying in the F tier. I still am of the belief this badge does not work. If it did, you would see comp pro and point guards absolutely using this, and I don't think those guys get anything slipped past them at all. And I'm talking the 6'1 PGs like Fana, my boy AK, you know, all them dudes, Asa Slide. Everybody that I know that's an elite comp pro and PG does not run Mismatch Expert, and that's just the truth. And those are the people that would utilize it. It's the people that have the 6'1 point guards that you would absolutely believe, with the fact that 6'9s are on the backside defense. If people are really getting exploited off this, it would be something that's ran 100% of the time. Now, you can leave your feedback and opinions on this if you truly do believe. I saw a couple comments recently, actually, for that matter, people even still vouching for Mismatch Expert, and they were like, Laker, if you do this playmaking badge tier list for Season 5, and I don't see Mismatch Expert higher, I'm gonna be mad. And I'm real with you, I'm not changing my opinion at all. I really do not believe this badge works at all. Anyway, moving along, we have Special Delivery and Ankle Breaker both moving down from the D tier to the E tier. I think these are a little bit overrated in the aspect of comparing them to the badges that are in the D. They're just not as good as the ones that are going to be in the D tier. And we have two of them, and as you can see, they are both listed right here with Post Playmaking and then Vice Grip. And for that matter, I think it's Post Playmaker, not Post Playmaking. I think the Post Playmaking is the takeover one, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, both of them are garbage, for that matter. I mean, just the concept of getting only pass outs from, like, you know, down in the paint, or let's say just as a post-up player, it's not exactly worth running the badge, if you ask me. It's definitely not worth running the takeover either. So D tier is still somewhere it belongs because it's still more functionally usable than Special Delivery and Ankle Breaker. Both these badges are absolute garbage. Special Delivery is a little bit more justifiable if you ask me, but that's only for a niche playstyle that even throws alley-oops like that in the first place. Now, and it's even more of a niche style to throw like flashy passes competitively. Like, I'm talking to actually boost up your teammates' shot rating. Maybe if you do it on a fast break, it could low-key be a good utilization of a badge point, but to be honest with you, that's just getting the value out of the badge. It's being way too extra to try to utilize this badge in the regular game flow rather than just fast breaks, like I said. Now, it does help your teammate hit the shot, so it is possible to utilize that flashy pass aspect of it, but either way, it's not that great for throwing lobs. It doesn't help me as a finisher at all. It really just, in my opinion, is a pretty useless badge in most regards. But speaking of useless badges, we have Ankle Breaker. This one is so frustratingly bad, to be real with you. I mean, I've done this on Hall of Fame, spam snatchbacks, little like flick down to the opposite ball hands, and just like try and just do the little stutter steps. Just whatever the case may be, of things that break ankles and the moves that do so. I don't see them happen this year, and I don't know, man. It's just been like that for years and years and years at this point. Last time Ankle Breaker was legitimately overpowered, and this was actually like an S tier or A tier badge, was 2K17. Now, I don't know if it's ever going to be good for the sake of the game if that becomes a thing again, because it is a pretty brain dead thing where you can just spam dribble moves that work like that. If the game had like mechanics based where like people reacting poorly, or aka defending one way, but then the playmaker of like the ball handler obviously snatched it back, and then the defense reacted super poorly, and you were able to just stop on a dime and yank the defender out of the way 100%. That's where I think Ankle Breaker would be really nice, and it actually would be more skill based, because then you're pulling the ball back and the defender is reacting to the way that they thought you were already going. That would be fire if there was more physics based Ankle Breaker animations, but honestly, it's all truly just based on a likelihood of the animation happening, and this year's game, they're so bad. So we have it down in the E tier now. It's just a non-runnable badge, if you ask me, and if you do it, you're really just wasting points. I mean, to not spend it on a tier 1 badge like Dimer, or to run like Floor General or something like that, is crazy to run Ankle Breaker instead of. But anyway, moving along, Post Playmaker, Vice Grip. Vice Grip, I've never been a big fan of, to be real with you guys. I think it's so useless as far as running it as a badge, and also we already talked about Post Playmaker, so I'm kind of tripping. But for Vice Grip, this is just something where if you're playing fives, you're not gonna get reached in on like that, bro. I mean, it's such a horrible thing to do. When I do it, I cringe. I absolutely cringe when I reach in on someone who just grabbed the rebound, because it likely means transition take foul, and the transition take foul always results in the highest free throw rating shooter to be on the free throw line every single time. And it's free takeover for that person as well. It's a free point because it's putting the best free throw shooter at the line. And you are absolutely making a mistake if you even go for those reach-ins off a rebound, if you ask me. That's just how it works in Rec Center. It's how it works in 5v5 Pro-Am. Even for the sake of 3v3, it's not even really that good of a rate to be just jarring the ball loose. On twos, that's the one place that I think Vice Grip is reliable. And I don't play very many twos. I don't think the majority of people watching this video play much twos either. But that's at least the one place that I see it to be useful, is when you grab that rebound. Those locks, if you're an actual big man, are just absolutely going crazy on that reach in, because at the end of the day, it's just an inbound. Like, it doesn't even make a difference as to, like, you know, the punishment of going for those reach ins right there. So they're trying to fluke you all the time on stuff like that. But anyway, that is my take on it. I wish Vice Grip at least maybe helped you catch the ball or something like that, like gave you better catch animations, because Lord knows this game needs it, man. They need glue hands right back in this game so badly. The catching animations in 2K23 are so bad. But anyway, moving along. We're actually just going to reveal all of the B tier and above badges at the same time. So you can see our moving badges are going to be Needle Threader moving down from the B to the C. We have Floor General and Dimer moving up from B to A, and that's about it as far as the moving badges in today's video. So you can see, as far as our movers go, it was Special Delivery, Ankle Breaker, Vice Grip, Needle Threader, and then Bailout, Break Starter. Anyway, to climb our way up the list, we have Needle Threader. We'll explain one of the, like, droppers, right? Like the ones that are going down in today's video. So with Needle Threader, I have now tested this on a build that I created solely for the purpose of getting it to Hall of Fame Needle Threader. I wanted to test the ability of the stuns. I wanted to test the ability of me throwing stupid passes and getting away with it. And I'll be real with you guys, the badge power is not like that. It's really like a solid, decent badge to run as like maybe an accessory badge as a passer or a role player, so to say. It's something you throw on as just your last couple of extra playmaking badge points if you didn't want to run Dimer or something like that, or if you're not the guy that's running Floor General. But personally, Needle Threader is a little bit of a waste of badge points to me. I still think that at this point. I don't think it really gets you stuns like that consistently. I don't think it really allows you to make horrible passes like you would think it does. I don't think it even stops people from intercepting the ball and just getting a tip instead. I don't think it really even makes it so they just miss the passing lane at all. I really just think the badge is kind of mid. It's so unfortunately disappointing for the sake of the build that I created like that. And I got a lot of reps on it. You better believe. I actually ended up number 3 in assist totals for like the Hall of Fame Pro-Am League, and that was off me running some 5-out, some pick and roller for that matter too. I was averaging like 7.9 assists per game, and even with that in mind, it was on many different builds, between 78 pass act to 85 to 92, and I really don't feel a huge difference between 85 and 92, and I don't feel a huge difference in running no Needle Threader on that 85 build versus 92 Hall of Fame Needle Threader on the other build. It just doesn't really feel like a big difference to me, and I think Needle Threader belongs in the C tier. It's better than Post Playmaker, and then it's definitely better than Vice Grip as well, but it's worse than these two badges right here. So let's talk about these two badges right here. There are only badges that are staying in the B tier that were originally B tier badges. We have Hyperdrive and Killer Combos. They're both actually pretty reliable if you ask me. Now, Killer Combo is a little bit more questionable. It's usually a tier 3 badge. For a lot of people out there, it becomes very expensive. I will say this much though, if it was a tier 1 badge like Hyperdrive is, you better believe people will be running this just as much as Hyperdrive, if not more. If this was a tier 1 badge, you'd see point guards absolutely just stunning people left and right, and it'd always be something people run on like gold on their PGs. Some people can even afford Hall of Fame, and the ones that have Hall of Fame are the absolute problems with this badge right here. Ankle braces doesn't even like 100% counter it or stop it, to be honest with you. It's really a problem when people have this stuff on, and I'm glad that more people don't run it, and I'm glad that more people didn't make their builds to have Hall of Fame on it, because man, stuns and just ankle breakers and stuff like that, we already just talked about it. I don't even know if it's good for the sake of the game. I don't even know if like people getting ankle breakers is like good, because it's all just kind of luck based. It's all just literally activation of the badge and just hoping that it works, and that's the whole point. So my take on killer combos. It's not even really like a point in like you doing a good dribble move to stun somebody. It's literally just boom, I flicked my stick and I ran one way and the defender just happened to get stunned. And it really does pile on over the course of a game as an on-ball defender at how frustrating it is to guard something like this, because you get put out of position and you're already dealing with the fact that defense is a little bit slower than offense just in general in this game, and you're just having to play catch up, obviously. So there's so many things piling on to this badge, and I just think in general it's something to be feared, at least, and that's why it belongs in the B tier. It's definitely better than C, and it doesn't belong in the A though, if you ask me. It's kind of fringe. It could be close to that, but I still believe killer combos in the B is a pretty acceptable spot to put it. Now for hyperdrive, this one's a little bit more of a glue badge. It's something that you kind of need in a way, but you can get away with not running as well. So for downhill movement, aka press break and stuff like that, or if you're a little bit of a 5-out point guard and you do a lot of downhill dribble moves, hyperdrive is a really big deal, and it definitely makes up for maybe you having lower speed with ball as well. But I still do believe you can get away with not running this badge, especially if you're a little bit more of an outside point guard and someone who's doing a lot more horizontal movement. I will say though, you will struggle a tad bit when it comes to press break. You won't be able to get, like, let's say I'm playing over aggressive on my 6'9" on-ball defender and someone doesn't have hyperdrive on their point guard, who's obviously, like I said, their main ball handler, because that's just who I defend as an on-ball defender in Pro-Am. If I'm playing overly aggressive and I get beat, if they don't have hyperdrive, I can recover. If they do have hyperdrive, I have to tell my 2-guard to just absolutely send it off the wing, and I have to bail over to the wing because I'm going to get crabbed by that point guard who now has hyperdrive and he's beating me down court. So that is just something you have to deal with. It even happens to like fast defenders as well with 88 speed stuff where they have like a 6'7", I should say. But either way, hyperdrive, pretty good badge. It's definitely a glue badge that can be pretty necessary, but it's more of like a nice to have thing rather than needed, if you ask me. But anyway, moving along, we have Floor General and Dimer both moving up to the A tier. I think just in general, let me explain this first and foremost. Floor General probably just belonged in A tier all along the whole time. I kind of am underrating this in a sense because I always factored in like Park and stuff, right? I always factored in like, it's useless for 1s, it's like not very good for 2s, and then it's like kind of whatever for 3s. Only one guy is gonna run it anyway, too. That was like kind of my take on it, but it's such a necessity. It's so good to have, you know, on a court, just period, in general. And you could even afford to have 2 of them as well. If you want to go with 2 floor generals, well, the guy who's running it, if you only have 1, isn't getting the +4 boost. So if you want to just chip in with 2 of them, obviously it doesn't stack to like 8 or anything like that, but you might as well just give each other the +4 boost and make sure all 5 people on the court have it. I think for 5s, it is like a must-have. I also really did factor in the fact that in rec, some people play very selfish as well, where they don't even want to help their teammates. So you can bet if you play randoms with, like, if you play rec random or anything like that, you go in with just you and you like get 4 others. Nobody probably has Floor General on, to be honest. It's so ego fest. It's always just about like, you know, like, honestly, this is the thing too. All right, so let's just put it like this. If you run Floor General and you're coming out here at like the 2 guard or something like that, right? And then your point guard is getting those +4 boosts. You're getting 4 more ball handle, 4 more 3-pointer, stuff like that as well. And now you, as the 2 guard, are not getting anything boosted because your point guard decided to be selfish, right? And then this dude messages you because you maybe go like, let's say 1 for 3 or something like that from 3. And dude's calling you a bum. He's telling you to shoot the ball better, stuff like that. Little does he know, you're being unselfish and actually helping him, whereas he is not. And that's what my kind of beef is with Floor General too, is for the egotistical rec center like playstyle and stuff like that. Nobody wants to run this freaking badge at the end of the day, even though it's so good to at least have on the court for 1 person, because that's 4 people on the court getting +4 ratings to their all their attributes, and it's such a huge deal, bro. So this belongs in the A tier 100%. Like I said, factoring in all the other courts like 1s, 2s, and 3s, you can weigh the badge down if you want, but at its absolute peak performance, like most necessary area in comp like Pro-Am 5v5, it's actually probably an S tier. This has to be on the court somewhere at least a gold level as well. Alright, next up we have Dimer. Now, I will say, this badge is a little bit hit or miss. It's more of like a, if you run it on bronze, it'll be a nice little accessory badge that only costs you probably 1 badge point at the end of the day too, because it's typically a tier 1. And then also, if you run it on Hall of Fame, you can feel the power, for sure. Now, at the end of the day, it really does come down to, can your teammates actually like time their shots, fill their meters, so to say. And, you know, obviously it'll help people hit contested. It'll open up their green window a little bit more too. It'll help your lower 3-point rating build, like shooters where maybe your teammates have around 78 3-pointer. Maybe they're a big man spotting up at the corner. Maybe they're a pure lock that has like 81, 82 3-pointer-ish, something like that. Hall of Fame dimer really can be convenient as far as that stuff goes. Not to mention, if you're playing like me, who I'm a 5-out point guard on our other team, and I don't have any offensive rebound anymore on that build, it is very important for the teammates to actually hit that shot, because now I cannot crash the rebound on stuff like that. So my O-board rating is obsolete, and the shots have to go in if the ball leaves my hands, and that's just kind of how it works. So Hall of Fame dimer, really good. Bronze, pretty good accessory badge point. If you want to go ahead and throw it on silver and gold, I'm running on gold on my pick and roll build currently. I'm hoping when I hit level 39 though, I'm going to put my playmaking badge point into, like, you know, the extra badge point, put it into playmaking and go with Hall of Fame dimer instead of gold. And that's what I'm looking forward to, for sure. So I think dimer does belong in the A tier. Like, I think it's on par with badges like Bailout and Break Starter, even though Bailout is so, you know, as we always say, the actual word of the badge, it's such a bailout badge. And then also Break Starter is pretty necessary for bigs. Like, for bigs, it's obviously an S tier badge, period. I had to kind of average it out a tad bit though. You can't really call it the same power as badges like Clamp Breaker and Quick First Step and Unpluckable and Hands for Days. Yes, it's like necessary to run in a big man, but this doesn't win you a game like Clamp Breaker or Quick First Step do or anything like that. And definitely doesn't resist you from losing a game like Unpluckable and Hands for Days do. So let's get to that real quick. Now, obviously, we do still have to talk about Bailout. I will, like, give it a couple seconds, but I hate this badge. I wish it wasn't in the game. I hate the fact that this is even a mechanic in general. And, you know, at the end of the day, I have to respect the badge's power. It's an A tier badge. It might even be an S tier, but that's probably pushing it a little bit. At the end of the day, it's just passing the ball and, like, you know, making passes just out of shots. It's not like it's an absolute bullet passer badge or anything like that. It's not like it's something that's speeding up your passes or making them uninterceptable or anything like that. It just makes it so you can pass out of shots and, you know, bait the defense a little bit. And while it is pretty BS, it's not as broken as I make it sound. I just wish that people weren't able to resort to it on purpose the way they do. They'll even just cook that stuff up on purpose. They'll, like, fade to the wing, act like they're going to shoot it, make the corner guy, like, play a little bit of a contest as they have their right stick up to play the hand up. Boom, they get baited into a full contest, and now the corner shot just has it wide open because they just baited the game into forcing them to actually contest the shot with the right stick up when, obviously, you know, they weren't even planning to shoot it in the first place. Now, there are counters to that. Me as a corner defender, I have recommended to people too, don't put your right stick up, only play for ghost contest and make people, like, pay for that, because obviously the ghost contests are really good in this game too. But you just have to kind of pick up on stuff like this, and that's my take on Bailout. But anyway, let's get back to these S tier badges right here. So Unpluckable and Hands for Days are the ones that resist you losing the game. Quick First Step and Clamp Break are the ones that make you win the game. Now, this is my take on that as well. So essentially what I'm getting at, we talk about the glue badges, right? With like Break Starter, you kind of have to have this, or like hyperdrive is not as much of a glue badge as it is. It's kind of a nice badge to have, so it's more of an accessory badge. To me, Quick First Step and Clamp Breaker are the nice to have badges. You obviously still have to have them because they are S tier for a reason. I would just not have something in the S tier if you didn't have to have the badge. But my point is, Quick First Step and Clamp Breaker, if you put it in like fighting game terms, essentially are the offensive badges. They're like the powerhouse badges, whereas Unpluckable and Hands for Days, while they are a playmaking badge, are more your defending badges. They're protecting you, so to say, from the defense, obviously, whereas Quick First Step is enforcing your power on the defense. Same with Clamp Breaker is enforcing your power on the defense. So sorry for the long-winded explanation on me explaining those four badges right there, but that's my take on it. So with Quick First Step, obviously making you just move extremely fast. On Hall of Fame, it's ridiculous. Gold is still good. I haven't really seen anybody run anything less than that. Maybe bronze. Silver is such a weird thing. Who runs silver Quick First Step these days? I mean, I guess 6'10s. That's about it though, because 6'9s just get it on like gold easy, and then the same with like anything that's like a small guard usually gets it on gold or Hall of Fame as well, with like 89 ball handle, so that's pretty capable as well. And I really feel like anything besides that, maybe you end up with like a 6'11 that has like 70 ball handle, and boom, you get like bronze Quick First Step. Either way, the badge is extremely good. I mean, it's so good at getting you quick movements and quick bursts and stuff like that, and obviously like the twitchy ball handle movement. But Clamp Breaker, let's talk about this. I think it's actually the best playmaking badge in the game. I think Handles for Days, like I said, is necessary. Unpluckable is necessary, but the power that you enforce on a defense and the fear that you put in a defense off having Hall of Fame Clamp Breaker is ridiculous, bro. You can just like glide right by people. You can just slither right by them, get straight to the hoop off it. Simple as that. Not to mention you're not very easy to press. If you do try and press this type of a player, they're going to be able to get past you and crab you in the half court, like I just talked about. Well, really going from full court to half court in that sense. But either way, you guys get what I'm saying. Clamp breaker, it's so broken, and it's so necessary to run as a point guard if you want to play in the style that you get, that just gets you easy buckets, like non-worked for buckets, stuff that just gets right past the defender on some BS, and that's just how clamp breaker works essentially. So quick first step, clamp breaker, both extremely good. Unpluckable, obviously still important, not quite as important as it used to be though. You could argue this is the worst S tier badge of them all, because handles is very necessary as well, but unpluckable, you can still run this on gold and you'll be good for the most part. It's very rare that you see pluck steals these days on decent ball handlers that have it like gold plus. At the beginning of the year though, you better believe you had to have this thing on Hall of Fame. It was so important. If you didn't have this, 99 steal Hall of Fame glove builds were just absolutely plucking you 24/7, and that's just how it was. But nowadays, the plucks are a little bit nerfed, so to say, and it's not quite as necessary, but it's still an S tier badge for sure, because you do still need it at the end of the day. If you run it on 0 and you are a point guard that even still has 96 ball handle, when you run it on 0 like unpluckable, you're gonna get the ball ripped from you, period, on people that have Hall of Fame glove. So it's just a nice little counter badge to glove. That's all it really is at the end of the day, but people still run glove at Hall of Fame if they can afford to, for sure. And even like the 6'9s, they run it on silver if they have 90 steel for sure too. So it's definitely something you still have to run. Handles for days though, obviously not many people in the game, and I will say like really strenuously not many people, as in probably like 0.5% of people who play this game can even run the badge on Hall of Fame, because it's 99 ball handle. That is such a expensive, unbelievably like hard thing to achieve in this year's game. But even for gold and silver, it's still really good. The difference between silver and gold is pretty big as well. And then I don't know, man, it looks like the difference between gold and Hall of Fame is unbelievable as well, but again, it's just pretty impossible for people to run on a Hall of Fame. So my experience just really resides in the gold and silver area. I don't really see it on bronze too often, so silver and gold is about all I ever see. But yeah, overall, really good badge, really good at resisting you losing stamina, and that's about as simple as that. It's just important for that way, and it's really important for like outside guards. For rim running, like kind of inside oriented guards / 5-out people, it's a little bit questionable whether you even need the badge or not. I would argue if you can always resort to a dunk meter or something like that when in doubt, you definitely are okay with not running handles for days. But at the end of the day, the less stamina you have, the harder it is to dunk as well. Whether it's good animations if you're blinking red, or if it's trying to get the dunk meters to go, if you're like on the bottom half of your stamina bar, you're not going to get quite as good of dunk animations either, and probably get kicked out of a couple. So handles for days is really good at resisting that, but at the end of the day, you can still also run Gatorade and stuff like that for 5v5 Pro-Am or even Rec Center. It's a pretty good value. I mean, if you do buy stuff like that, it's way better value for doing it for Rec and just Pro-Am than it is for, let's say, Park. You're going to bleed through those boosts in Park, and it's too expensive to really, like, you know, consider the net gain of VC that you would get to justify that at all. And that's why it's hard for, like, small guards to even play Park in this year's game, too, because it's still necessary to run the Gatorade. But again, maybe if you have Hall of Fame handles for days, it works like that, but it's rare, man. It's so rare. But anyway, that is all for the video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub, new turn on noties, all good stuff. And like always, try to win to 2,000 likes. If you made it to the end of the video, put play or put pass in the comments. Short supports me all the way through. But anyway, feel free to check out the other ones. If you want to check out the finishing, shooting, or defense, we already have those up on the channel. If you guys want to see the takeover one in tomorrow's video or something like that, feel free to let me know. I'll be real with you guys. I'm probably going to post a video tomorrow anyway. My boy Handles, who does the thumbnails, is out on a trip or something like that for a couple of days. So I'm resorting to some of the videos that I already have thumbs for. I know I don't really explain the video process to you guys too often, but man, can I take a second real quick and pat myself on the back? It's been a really long year to this point. It's been 6.5 months, I believe, since the games even come out. It might be even approaching 7 to this point as well. But I have posted daily, every single day, before the game has even come out. I obviously got the early access stuff, was posting 5 times a day, 6 times a day for like 4 days before the game came out, because I wanted to capitalize off the fact that I had it early. Shout out to 2K for that as well. I really do thank them for all the, you know, all the BS that we've encountered in this game of me not getting a logo and stuff like that, and whatever the case may be too. I do appreciate them for at least bringing me out like that and really like putting me on and getting me like a ton of viewership, and you know, it paid really well too. It gave me a lot of subs, and I appreciate them a lot for that too. But anyway, I have posted daily, every single day, from like that point all the way to here for, I believe, nearly 160, 170 days in a row at this point, maybe even 180. But you know, to be realistic with you, sometimes that results in me posting videos like this consistently, and I would even question myself sometimes too whether I want to drop the tier list for this season and stuff like that. But then I dropped like one video of the shooting because I did have opinions based on that, and I saw a lot of people asking if I was going to drop the rest of them because I kind of was hesitant to. So while there may not be a ton of change in some of these videos, I really do appreciate the fact that some of you guys really just want to see this stuff in the first place, and that's what these videos truly are at the end of the day. I know there are going to be some people who are subscribed to the channel and you're like, Laker, I don't care about these tier list videos anymore. It's season 5. Like, who gives any, like, gives one? But obviously, I do appreciate the fact that some people out there do want to see this, and I will post them just because some people want to see it as well, and I appreciate that. You guys keep the content going off just the fact that you want to see more of it. So I really do appreciate that. We're going to get into Pro-Am videos pretty soon as well, but anyway, I should probably cut this video off before people see the timestamp being like 35 minutes and they don't want to click on it. But anyway, I appreciate you guys just sticking around, hearing the rambling and stuff like that. I don't do it too often in videos, but I'm feeling like doing it in today's, so I figured why not. Anyway, that's all for video. If you made it to the real end of the vid, put Laker in the comments, search my way through. Anyway, that's all, and that, take it easy, man. Peace.